Across regions like Colombia and Brazil, millions of hectares of dense forest are actively managed as carbon offset projects. The geopolitical pressure driving this is immense. Under the Paris Agreement, nations are racing to meet their strict national targets for emission cuts. But certain industries cannot eliminate their emissions entirely. Sectors like international aviation must rely on international mitigation mechanisms to offset what they burn. Here is the critical vulnerability. Carbon credits, or ECUs, are intangible assets. If a project relies on fatal accounting errors or exploits the local population, the asset is worthless. To prevent these foundational failures, the Equitable Earth Standard enforces a rigorous verification framework built directly on 3 distinct pillars. If carbon accounting, ecological health, and human livelihoods are not structurally locked together at the project level, planetary restoration fails entirely. This outlines the first pillar, carbon. The standard enforces stringent greenhouse gas accounting principles, demanding total data completeness and baseline consistency. This prevents double claiming. If a host country and private entity attempt to count the exact same carbon reduction, the math fails. To authorize these credits as internationally transferred mitigation outcomes, or ITMOs, the host country is mandated to make strict corresponding adjustments to its own national greenhouse gas inventory. This accounting precision is required for regulatory compliance. Corporations can retire these verified credits to meet their legal obligations under strict regional carbon tax regimes, such as the one implemented in Singapore. This mathematical stringency guarantees that every single carbon credit sold represents a singular, uncontested reduction in atmospheric heat. The second pillar shifts from abstract atmospheric math to the physical soil. We must verify heavily degraded ecosystems are actually returning to vibrant life. Under the M002 methodology for terrestrial forest conservation, developers are strictly mandated to restore the land to its native species composition. They must also protect and restore fundamental supporting ecosystem services. That requires measurable proof of active water cycling and natural pollination within the project boundaries. Because of these strict ecological baseline assessments, every certified project directly contributes to UN Sustainable Development Goal 15, Life on Land. Prioritizing biodiversity and ecosystem integrity over simple carbon storage creates resilient sinks. These forests are actually capable of surviving long-term climate volatility. The third pillar focuses on the human engine. Ecological projects only succeed if they actively uplift the people living within them. Projects must be co-designed alongside direct stakeholders, specifically indigenous peoples and local communities. Developers are legally required to protect provisioning services, specifically the non-timber forest products that these local populations rely on for their daily survival. This flowchart shows the mandatory 2-tier grievance mechanism. It starts with a localized community complaint process, then securely escalates to secretariat-level oversight. This system enforces strict mandates for complainant anonymity, cultural sensitivity, and accessibility in local languages. Securing the economic livelihoods and legal rights of local inhabitants is the only realistic method to guarantee the physical enforcement of forest boundaries over time. Carbon accounting, ecological health, and human dignity all merge into a single publicly auditable tracking system. This is the digital interface of the Equitable Earth Public Registry. It takes these complex verification pillars and makes them visible to global buyers. Anyone can track active projects moving through measurement, reporting, and verification, watching them progress from initial validation to public issuance. The overarching purpose is simple: ensuring every claimed unit represents a scientifically verifiable contribution to a 1.5 degrees Celsius aligned climate pathway. By locking strict math to ecological health and human rights, Equitable Earth engineered the transparent infrastructure required for a legitimate global carbon market.